Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about something that I posted on my Facebook, and I guess I just want to say it now. I've lived in Maryland for 6 years now, and all I know and all I've learned from this state, about what people have to go through here, is disgusting. The mental health system here is unacceptable. And as someone with mental issues, serious mental issues at times, depending on my state, I honestly do feel like I've been abused by their system. It's gotten to this point where I can't trust anyone. I can't trust the system. I can't trust being given help. I've been scanned by the school system. I've been told I was going to live in a mental institution for the rest of my life by 2 different doctors. When I was put into the psych ward, I literally just witnessed, luckily I did not, nothing happened to me while I was in the psych ward, but what I witnessed was disgusting. I've seen people that were being hit on, literally being asked out on dates while they're in the psych ward. My roommate, her side of the room was ransacked by a nurse. It was disgusting. And I know this is a lot of things that happen all over the world. I understand that. And I'll take accountability where I did mess up. And I did mess up in a lot of different, in a lot of it I did. There's a lot of things I should have done differently. There's a lot of people I should be apologizing to, all of that. I'm not saying that it's completely, I'm completely, I'm the victim completely, but it doesn't change the fact that this state has hurt me. That I'm realizing now that it's probably traumatizing at this point for me, and I'm trying to wrap my head around that, because how could living in one state just be so different from where I lived? I lived in Rochester, New York for 22 years, and nothing like this has happened. Nothing. Not to say that state is, that city or state of New York is perfect. Hi, Mary. This is my cat, Mary. She's worried about me. There's a dose of kitty cat. There you go. But the school system is so corrupt. I've had to get involved, and it feels like I've had to literally fix things that I shouldn't be fixing as a student. I don't know how else to word that, but that's how it feels. And right now I feel used and scammed by my university. I won't go really into detail what happened, but I will tell you this much. They scammed me out of a lot of money. And right now I'm in the middle of pleading my case, saying that, basically the long and short of it is that they were asking for more money if you're out of state. I've been in the state for 6 years. So I was paying as if I was an out-of-state student, which is very highly inappropriate, and it's something that should have been in the very beginning of the papers. It should have been in the very beginning of all of this. It should have been in the papers when I, signed up for the school. It should have been there. They've had my address this entire time. This entire time. I feel scammed. I still don't even know if they're going to refund me any of it. I don't know. Knowing Maryland, probably not. My favorite, game company of all time that's saved my life on more occasions than I can name. I'm an Elder Scrolls nerd, and I love Bethesda Studios. And as much as I love them, their stuff is half-assed. I mean, I love you, Bethesda, but you leave glitches in your game, you do all this stuff, and now I see probably why. Because that's how Maryland is. That's how this state works, guys. I'm not kidding. Everything is half-assed. This is the city of being a half-assed person. That's what it is. Do a half-assed job and get paid double. That's literally how it feels. And I'm trying to rack my brain about trying to find some good things that has happened since I moved here. It took me 2 years to find a doctor. 2 years to find a doctor that told me I wasn't crazy. To tell me that I wasn't going to end up in a mental institution for the rest of my life. 2 years. It shouldn't have taken 2 years. But it did. Why? Because it's Maryland. I've done a 10-page paper on it. All the disgusting things that I have seen, and the disgusting things doctors are allowed to get away with in this state. Again, I will reiterate, I have made mistakes. I have done things that I shouldn't have done. I will admit to this. And to those who I have hurt, I am very sorry. Feel free to call me out in the comments or whatever. I'll take that accountability. I'm not saying I won't take accountability for anything. I'm not pulling a Gabby Hanna. If anything, Gabby Hanna has taught me to not do that. But I will not also sit here and say that what I've witnessed and been through did not happen. But it did happen. I've had a teacher fail me for just because I said something. I said that I didn't learn anything in her class and she still failed me. Even though I said, what do I have to do to get it to pass your class? She said a C on the final. I got a C in the final. She still failed me just because I said. I had another teacher that didn't want to do his job. By the way, let me reiterate that this is a university. I will not say the name of this university because I don't want to get people in trouble. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to warn people away from this state, to really think about where you're going and what you're doing. And really question if you really want to be part of a state that treats the mentally ill like it's, 1950. It's always sweep it under the rug. We don't want to talk to you. And like I said in my Facebook post, to those doctors who are actually good at their job, who live here in Maryland, to those doctors who are actually trying to help people, I do salute you. And I'm sorry that you are overshadowed by the so many horrible doctors that are making your life in your job that much harder. And I ask for you to stay in Maryland. Maybe you can make a difference. Maybe you can stop this, but there are good doctors in Maryland, but you have to try very hard to find them, I'm afraid. They're hidden in the cracks, in the crevices. All the bad ones are the ones that are just being... I'm sure if you look more into my stuff, you'll find that I've made a Yelp review on some place called Dryden Edwards. That's all I'm going to say. But here's the thing. I'm drained. I don't... hope doesn't exist for me right now. It's never existed. I've never believed in it to begin with. And that's another story entirely. I'm not going to go into that. But please, if you're thinking about coming to Maryland, please do some research before you do. Please understand that if you're mentally ill and you're moving to this state, that you're going to get traumatized by the horrible doctors that have... I have a friend that lives here, you know. She's so used to it because she's lived here her entire life. And only when I pointed it out did she notice that how bad it really was. Because I'm an outsider. I wasn't born here. I don't know why people aren't talking about this. And if you have noticed this, please let me know. You're not alone. You're not the only one who's seen this. I do feel quite alone in this sometimes. I've been scammed, I've been lied to, I've been used. And I think I'm making this video because I can't anymore. I can't say I'm tired of not saying anything. I'm tired of trying to prove myself to people that just don't give a shit. And to my friends, I understand. I'll be fine. And to those who say, why don't you just move? Sweetheart, it is not that easy. I have nowhere to go. All the things I need to stay sane are here. I've already paid for that school, so I might as well just go. The least they can do is refund me the thousands of dollars that they stole. Granted, they may have not even meant to do it. It might have just been that they forgot to, give me those forms, but the thing still stays the same. And to anybody who works at MC, sorry, I didn't say I was going to say, anybody who knows what I'm talking about, look, if you know what university I'm talking about and you work there, try to tell your superiors that this stuff could get them sued. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to say I'm going to sue somebody, but I'm just warning you that somebody eventually will. They're going to be sick of your shit. And I think the reason it hasn't happened is that Maryland is so used to being half-assed. They're so used to being this way that they don't do anything about it. It takes an outsider sometimes to see the bullshit. Think about it. That's a common trope in movies. And I know movies aren't like the best thing to go off of, but if you really think about it, it's always the outsider who points out the bullshit that is happening in a society that is just not right. And that's how I feel right now. It really does feel that way. Like, oh my God, nobody's done anything about it because they're so used to it. But at the same time, I don't want to start anything, I just want to get this out there because something needs to be said. This can't continue. This silence is just not working. I have not been able to fully enjoy my 20s because of this. Because I couldn't get the right help in time. I can't help but think I probably would have gone to school sooner if I got the right helps. 2 years it took me until I got the right help, guys. 2 years. It shouldn't have taken that long. And maybe I should have done more research. You know, maybe that's my bad, okay? I'll admit to that. Fine. But it still shouldn't have taken 2 years. I also want to just say one more time, if to anybody I've hurt or said something nasty to that I didn't mean to, I'm sorry. I again will take any accountability for anything I did. I am not going to sit here and say that I won't. If you want to call me out on something, then do it. At least call me out on something so I can fix it or apologize or do something. But I'm also going to sit here and call out the shit that I have witnessed. The suicide rate in this state is quite high. And most of it has been linked back to the fact that people are not getting the right mental help that they're needed. I could have been one of those people. I could have been. But I'm not going to be. I don't want to be. And to anybody else who sees this and is living in Maryland and is seeing this for their own eye, with their own eyes, like I am, please say something. This is not going to stop until someone says something. And I cannot be alone in this. I have witnesses. My parents have witnesses. My friends have witnessed what I have been through. They have seen all of it. I have evidence to prove all of this. And it can't just be me. And if you guys are out there and are seeing this, please say something in the comments. Tell me that this is not just me. You're not alone. And I can't be alone in this. This needs to stop. And it's only going to stop if somebody says something. This isn't about getting people in trouble. This isn't about, let's attack people. That's not what this is about. This is about saying something, maybe correcting a few people, maybe saying, maybe you should do this instead of this so you don't get hurt later. I'm not here to attack anyone. If this can be solved peacefully, that would be perfect. But I'm starting to think that Maryland is a state that'll never change. So once again, if you're mentally ill and you live in Maryland, do yourself a favor and get the fuck out.